Yo, what's up, everybody? We all got that travel bug, right? Seeing the world, experiencing new cultures, snapping those fire Instagram pics. But here's the thing. Not every destination is bumping, "Welcome when you're black." Yeah, I know it's a real buzzkill, but we got to keep it 100. Look, I'm all for stepping outside your comfort zone, but safety is non-negotiable. This ain't about fear-mongering, it's about being informed. Just like you check the weather forecast, you've got to check the social climate. Over the next few minutes, we're going to dive into some destinations where black travelers might encounter more than just a language barrier. We're talking about the countries where your skin color might be the biggest culture shock. Buckle up, fam. It's about to get real. All right, first up, we're heading over to country A. Now, this place might look all charming in the brochures, but scratch beneath the surface and you'll find a history steeped in racism. We're talking centuries of colonialism, segregation, the whole 9 yards. And before you think those days are long gone, let me tell you, the ghosts of the past still linger. Discrimination is often baked into the very fabric of society, from housing and employment to everyday interactions. Think about it like this. Imagine going to a restaurant and instead of taking your order, the waiter gives you the side eye, or trying to hail a cab, and the driver conveniently speeds past you. It's these microaggressions, these subtle reminders that you're not considered one of them, that can really wear you down. And look, I'm not saying everyone in country A is like that, but the reality is anti-black sentiment is a very real issue. So before you book that ticket, ask yourself, are you prepared to navigate a place where your presence might not be welcomed with open arms? Next up, we're jetting off to country B, a place that's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. We're not talking about bad restaurant reviews here, folks. We're talking about serious incidents of violence and harassment against black travelers. Now, I know what you're thinking. Trevor, you're exaggerating. It can't be that bad. Oh, but it can. There have been countless reports of black tourists being denied service, verbally abused, even physically assaulted. And the worst part, often these incidents are met with indifference, even hostility, from local authorities. It's like they turn a blind eye, pretend it's not happening. Imagine being thousands of miles away from home and feeling like you have nowhere to turn for help. It's a nightmare scenario, but sadly, it's a reality for many black travelers in country B. So yeah, maybe think twice before you add this one to your bucket list. Trust me, there are plenty of other beautiful places in the world where you can enjoy your vacation without fearing for your safety. Okay, let's talk about country C. Now, this one's interesting because even the government's like, yeah, you might want to skip this one. We're talking official travel advisories, folks, warning black citizens about the risks of visiting. Now, when a government tells its own people to stay away, you know it's got to be serious. We're not talking about a little pickpocketing here. We're talking about systemic racism, discrimination embedded in every level of society. Think about it. From the moment you step off the plane, you're treated differently because of the color of your skin. You might get pulled aside at customs, followed around in stores, denied service at restaurants. It's like the whole country's playing a game of how unwelcome can we make you feel? And honestly, who needs that kind of stress on their vacation? So, unless you're really dedicated to experiencing the full spectrum of human prejudice, I'd say take the government's advice and steer clear of country C. Chapter 4. Country D, where ignorance is bliss, for them, not you. All right, now we're heading over to country D, a place that's a little different from the others. It's not that they're outright hostile towards black people. It's more like they're stuck in the Stone Age when it comes to racial sensitivity. We're talking about stares that could burn holes in your clothes, people touching your hair without asking, questions that would make a baby unicorn blush. It's like they've never seen a black person before, and they're not afraid to let you know it. Now, some people might brush it off as cultural differences, but let's be real, folks. There's a fine line between curiosity and plain old ignorance, and constantly being treated like an exotic zoo animal, that gets old real quick. So, if you're planning a trip to Country D, be prepared for a crash course in Racial Sensitivity 101, and maybe pack some extra patience because you're going to need it. Chapter 5. Country E, the numbers don't lie. Let's get real for a second, folks. Sometimes you need cold, hard facts to paint the picture. That's where Country E comes in. It's got the statistics to back up its reputation. Studies and reports show Country E has a serious problem with racism, huge disparities in income, education, healthcare, and for black people, the numbers are even more grim. Higher rates of poverty, unemployment, incarceration. Statistics give a glimpse into the systemic issues. So before you book that ticket, do your research. Chapter 6, Country F. Don't just take my word for it. Look, I know what you're thinking. Trevor, you're just one guy. Maybe you had a bad experience. And you know what? You're right. I'm just one voice. But my experience isn't unique. It's sadly common. For Country F, we're going straight to the source black travelers who've been there. From being followed in stores to being denied service at restaurants, these stories paint a stark picture of what it's like to be black in a place that doesn't always welcome you. Their stories are a powerful reminder that racism is real, and it's something we need to talk about. All right, let's talk about Country G. Now, this one's a bit tricky because it's not the entire country that's the problem. It's specific regions, cities, even neighborhoods where black travelers might not be welcomed with open arms. We're talking about places with a history of racial tension, where prejudice runs deep and where your presence might be met with suspicion, hostility, even danger. Now, I'm not saying you can't visit Country G at all, but it's crucial to do your research. Find out which areas are considered safe, which ones to avoid, and what precautions to take. Think of it like this. If you were traveling to a city with a high crime rate, you wouldn't just wander around blindly at night, right? You'd stick to well-lit areas, be aware of your surroundings, and take extra precautions. The same goes for traveling to a country with a history of racism. You've got to be informed, be prepared, and be extra vigilant. Chapter 8, Country H, fighting the good fight, but is it enough? Okay, let's talk about Country H. Now, unlike some of the other countries we've discussed, this one's actually making an effort. We're talking about initiatives to combat racism, promote diversity, and create a more inclusive society. Think about it. They're having the tough conversations, implementing policies, and trying to dismantle systemic barriers. They're acknowledging the problem and actively working towards a solution. Now, are they perfect? Absolutely not. Is there still a long way to go? Definitely. But at least they're trying, which is more than I can say for some other places. So while Country H might not be a utopia of racial harmony just yet, it's a step in the right direction. And who knows, maybe by shining a light on their efforts, we can encourage other countries to follow suit. Chapter 9. Country Y. So, you still gotta go. Here's how to survive. Okay, let's be real. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Work, family, that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Sometimes you gotta go to a country that's not exactly known for its warm embrace of black travelers. So what do? Well, first of all, don't panic. Just because a country has a reputation doesn't mean you're guaranteed a bad experience. But it does mean you need to be extra prepared. Think about it. Research your destination. Connect with other black travelers who've been there and pack your patience. And most importantly, know your rights. Familiarize yourself with local laws and customs, and don't be afraid to speak up if you experience discrimination. Remember, your safety and well-being are paramount. Don't let anyone tell you to just deal with it. Chapter 10, Country J, the takeaway travel woke, my friends. All right, folks, we've covered a lot of ground today. From countries with a history of overt racism to those where microaggressions are more the norm. But here's the thing. No matter where you go in the world, it's crucial to be informed, be aware, and be prepared. This isn't about living in fear. It's about traveling smart. Just like you wouldn't go hiking in the wilderness without a map and compass, you shouldn't travel to a new country without doing your research. So before you book that ticket, take some time to learn about the social and political climate of your destination. Read travel blogs, connect with other black travelers, and be honest with yourself about the risks involved. Remember, your safety and well-being are paramount. Outro, stay safe, stay informed, and keep exploring. So there you have it, folks. A glimpse into the realities of traveling while black. I know it's not always pretty, but hey, that's the world we live in. But here's the thing, don't let these stories scare you off from exploring the world. Instead, let them empower you to travel smarter, safer, and with your eyes wide open. Share your own experiences, tips, and advice in the comments below. Let's create a community of informed and empowered travelers. And remember, no matter where your adventures take you, always prioritize your safety and well-being. That's all for today, folks. Hit that subscribe button for more travel-related content. And as always, stay curious, stay adventurous, and stay woke. Peace out.